All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge question in the world of industrial automation. What's the real difference between an HMI and a SCADA system? I know, they sound kind of similar and people mix them up all the time, but their jobs couldn't be more different. So let's get this figured out.
You know, the entire debate really just boils down to this one simple question of scale. Are we talking about controlling just one machine right there on the spot? Or are we talking about supervising an entire factory from a bird's eye view? That distinction right there is the key to understanding everything else.
And honestly, there's a simple rule of thumb that just cuts through all the noise. Just remember this one line. If one operator controls one machine, it's an HMI. If one control room supervises many machines, it's SCADA. That's it. That's the golden rule. Keep that in your back pocket as we dive deeper. Now, to really make this stick, let's use an analogy you'll never forget. Think of an HMI like the dashboard in your car. It's right in front of you, giving you direct control and real-time info, your speed, your fuel, for that one single car. SCADA, on the other hand, is the air traffic control tower. The people in that tower aren't flying a single plane. No way. They're supervising the entire airport. All the planes, all the runways, the whole shebang.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's start peeling back the layers and get into the nitty-gritty details of what makes each of these systems tick.
So first up, we have the HMI, the human-machine interface. The most important word to remember here is local. This is the touchscreen, the panel, the buttons right there on the machine. It's what lets an operator physically interact with it. You know, to start it, stop it, tweak the settings. It's all about direct, hands-on control.
And then we've got SCADA, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. I mean, the name says it all, right? It's for supervising. Its whole job is to gather up data from lots of different places, tons of machines, maybe even different buildings, and pull it all into one central spot for that high-level, big-picture management.
This table here really lays it all out. Just look at who's using them. An HMI is for the operator on the floor, right in the action. A SCADA system, that's for a supervisor and engineer, probably sitting in a control room. And the data is a huge difference. An HMI is all about what's happening right this second. SCADA cares about that too, but it's also a data historian, logging everything so you can spot trends and analyze performance over weeks, months, or even years.
And when you look at what they can actually do, well, this is where SCADA really starts to stretch its legs. Monitoring multiple plants from one screen, checking in remotely, running complex reports on things like overall equipment effectiveness, that's all SCADA's turf. Your standard HMI is just not built for that kind of heavy lifting. It's got one job to do, and it does it well.
And of course, this isn't just theory. There's real software out there that brings all this to life. I'm sure you've heard some of these names. For HMIs, you've got major players like Siemens WinCCRT or Factory Talk from Allen Bradley. And on the SCADA side, you're talking about powerhouses like Ignition and Wonderware. These are the actual tools that make modern industry run.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's see how this all plays out in the real world. We're going to take a quick tour through a few key industries to see exactly where HMI and SCADA fit into the puzzle.
First up, let's head over to a classic manufacturing plant.
So picture it, you're on the factory floor, and right there on a big packaging machine, there's an HMI screen. The operator is using it to change the speed or check for a jam. But now, go back to the central control room. A supervisor is looking at a big SCADA display, and they're not seeing one machine, they're seeing the performance of the entire assembly line. Two totally different jobs, two totally different tools.
Okay, now let's shift gears to some really high-stakes environments like oil and gas or pharmaceuticals, where getting it right is absolutely critical.
In these places, SCADA isn't just a nice-to-have. It's the beating heart of the entire operation. It's managing complex recipes, tracking every single ingredient, and creating those bulletproof audit trails that regulators demand. The HMI? It plays a supporting role. Maybe it's a small panel near a reactor that a technician uses for a quick maintenance check.
And for our last example, let's think about industries where equipment is spread out over huge geographic areas, like our power grids or water utilities.
Here, the big challenge is distance. A technician might drive out to a single pump station in the middle of nowhere and use a local HMI to work on it. But the SCADA system is what makes the whole thing work together. From a central command center, operators can monitor reservoir levels for an entire region or reroute power across the grid. That's something you just can't do without that centralized, remote SCADA control.
Phew! Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. Let's bring it all home and lock in that big picture takeaway so it really sticks.
We are coming right back to our simple, powerful rule of thumb. After seeing all those examples, This sentence should have so much more meaning now, right? It really is the clearest way to think about it. One operator, one machine, HMI. One control room, many machines, that's SCADA. Simple as that.
And let's bring back our analogy one last time because it's just perfect. The HMI is the focused, immediate control of a car's dashboard. The SCADA system is the big picture supervisory oversight of the air traffic control tower. If you remember nothing else, remember that image.
So there you have it. From the factory that built your computer to the utility that brings clean water to your tap, these systems are quietly running the world all around us. So, the next time you see a complex operation in action, ask yourself, am I looking at a dashboard or am I looking at an air traffic control tower? The answer might just surprise you. Thanks for digging into this with me.